I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans. And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field. Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
You are listening to Let Him Cook. I'm Dylan Coon, as always, joined with Nigel Dyson. Nigel, we had a good almost 3-month run of only recapping wins and talking about wins, and that always makes the podcast a little bit more fun. A little bit of a different episode this week, unfortunately. Iowa State 16-2. We're recording Monday night before the UCF game. Iowa State down to 9th in the AP poll after dropping 2 conference games. I had the displeasure of being in Fog Allen on Tuesday, and I was having about as much fun as the Iowa State men's basketball team down there. It was not – that place was souped up on, like, aggression and desperation. That place, it doesn't, like – it just fell on them so fast. I mean, it just felt like someone pulled the carpet out, and Iowa State was just like – it felt like we started that game 0 to -10.
Yeah,
It was on us fast.
Yeah, and that usually is what happens in Allen Fieldhouse. But
yeah.
Before we get into the diagnosis of the game, I think due to our performance these past 2 games, we have to change the pod name.
Whoa.
We're no longer Let Him Cook. We're Let Him Starve. Because we haven't eaten shit in a week. And I think you can't go 7 days without food or something like that. It's like
probably
limited amount of time. Yeah, something's got to give. We got to eat something. And right now, I don't know about you, Dylan, but I'm starving. Like, watching Iowa State basketball sucked all the nutrients and life I had in me just completely down the drain. And absolute brutal week of basketball. I don't. There's a lot of harsh things I could say. I don't want to jump to conclusions and get ahead of myself because obviously bad weeks happen, especially in January and February. But yeah, I want the people at home to let us know what you think. Should we change the pod name until we turn into a good basketball team again? I'm genuinely curious.
Let him starve. Hungry dogs run faster. That's what I say, Nigel. And maybe we need some hunger right now because, I mean, like Kansas going into that game, Kansas has not started the Big 12 conference play as they wanted. I think they were 1-2 going into that game, or maybe I want to say they were 1-2. And they just reeked of desperation. They barely beat TCU in that building like a week prior. Lost to UCF on the road. Like this Kansas team was not looking like your normal Kansas team. And kind of as you predicted, Darren Peterson plays a full 35-minute game against us. Looks everything like a number 1 pick in the NBA draft. I mean, there's so much that went wrong in that first half where there became a point that I looked up at the scoreboard in the first half and the lead was insurmountable. You let Kansas go on a 20-2 run in that building at any point in a basketball game, and it's probably curtains. But I was even thinking, can you get it within 10 at halftime? And I don't think we did. And then I think the closest it got was an 11-point deficit in the second half. And that felt like a win. And that's a bad game. If you cut the lead to 11 and you start to feel good about your team, that means that it was a really bad game.
Yeah. No, and that was the thing, too. That was the moment where, again, because shout out my buddy Brian, but since I was rolling on a hot streak, he was like, all right, give me some more legs. I was like, Iowa State at Kansas. He was like, what, are you crazy? I was like, Brian, when have I let you down? Nigel shortly let him down.
On Tuesday, you let him down.
Yeah. On Tuesday, he was down for the count. But, when we got to the point where we were down 20, like you said, we cut it to 11. And there was an odd feeling of hope that I had, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is pathetic. This is not. This is still not a game, especially given the environment that they were playing in. And I really did think that since we were such a second half team, I'm like, are we gonna do the unthinkable right now? Like, first time in over almost a decade that we've won at Allen Fieldhouse. Is tonight going to be the night where not only do we finally get over the hump and win there, but do we win in this fashion, almost like a Chicago Bears run, like where you just think it's over and then some sporadic moment happens that just changes the entire trajectory of the game. But even with after like a few good plays by our guys Bateman, Heisey, kind of clawed it back into that big lead, it just didn't seem like it was enough. And again, every shot in that environment is so gut punching. Like, even if it's a close back and forth game, the reaction that their environment can like curate is so contagious from everybody in the room that if you're on the opposition, like, you do not have an ounce of confidence despite the score. So God forbid you're down 11, like, it still doesn't feel like a game. So, and then it also just felt like we like you said, hungry dogs eat faster. If there was a definition of a team in the Big 12 right now that is starving, like, because of the standard that they usually hold, it was Kansas, where they were just dropping a lot of games early that they, in my opinion, shouldn't have. And it's like the Denzel Washington, Malcolm X meme. He's like, yeah, that brother's starving. Like, you can just tell when a team wants it more than you. And it felt like, this week was just one of those weeks where everybody who they put in front of us was a bit more hungry for what was on the table. And it just sucks to kind of, we're right. And again, I always feel like this happens to us. Like, we, in football, basketball, in our best years, our best starts, the middle of the season comes around and we just start getting explosive diarrhea. Like, we cannot perform. We just, the game is shitty. And I don't know what happens, but like, why we can't put a full season together despite who's on the team is beyond me. And again, like I said, Cincinnati, that's more of a fluke loss in my opinion. But this year, I feel like really was a lost opportunity to win at Kansas. And it came down to where it was like, yeah, they were hitting shots, but it was also like they were trying harder. Like, guys were diving on loose balls, and that was creating those open threes. And then rotations were weak, and Jefferson spin moving into three people. It's just like doing uncharacteristic stuff. And I was just not pleased with that effort. Like, I can handle a Cincinnati loss, even though it sucks. Like, at the end of the day, like, if you had to say which one was worse, without a doubt, I felt extremely confident. That was not like fake confidence for the sake of the production of this show. I really did feel like this was a team that could beat Kansas at Kansas. Like, I didn't escape my mind. And then to see kind of like it just came down to effort, and we didn't have any of that today or on Tuesday. Like, just for a TJ team in the time that he's been here at Iowa State, borderline like one of his most pathetic performances with the group, in my opinion. Like, from an effort standpoint, like, where it's just no heart, no guts, and they made us pay for it.
Yeah, I think I'm almost on the opposite end of you though, where like Fog Allen, pissed off Kansas team, like, that's going to be tough. I think on paper, like you said, Iowa State is talented enough to win against this Kansas team at Kansas. Like, if one of those nerds ran that simulation 100 times, like, I'm sure Iowa State would come out on top more than 50% this year.
Yeah.
And you can almost never say that. I mean, we were favored in that game by Vegas to win that game, which is hard to imagine after you saw the outcome. But to me, that's one where it's like you said, uncharacteristic. Like, things Iowa State's like big three of Taman, Milan, and Joshua Jefferson, they shot like 5 for 27 from the field in the first half. Just like,
Yeah.
that'll never happen again all season. They will not, as a trio, shoot that badly. It was just like things unheard of were happening, and it only happens at Fog Allen. Trey White, the transfer from Illinois. Nigel, I have a problem with the School of Illinois. Even when I think I'm free of Terrence Shannon Jr., some transfer from Illinois just wants to ruin my day. And Trey Wright goes 5 for 7 from 3 after my dumbass said Kansas doesn't have the wings to keep up with Iowa State. Christ.
Yeah.
I'm still seeing him hit threes when I close my eyes. And that was like, I mean, it just got so loud so fast. It just got, I mean, you would think that this team wouldn't be rattled, but man, we looked rattled. Like,
Yeah.
like a lot of the players on this team have played, especially the stars have played in Lawrence before. We did not look suited to deal with 14,000 pissed off, loud, angry Kansas Jayhawk fans on Tuesday. We looked
Yeah.
shook.
And as much as I give Allen Fieldhouse credit for the environment they have on a game-to-game basis, like it's the same. It's a Cameron Indoor effect where it's like, yeah, it like that's not gonna change. That's a common denominator year in and year out, despite who's on the team. My big issue is like, okay, we're playing a pissed off Kansas team. Great, whatever the hell that means. Like, oh, you lost a few games in a row. Try being 2-22 a few years ago. That was us.
Damn.
So, just to paint a picture for everybody, but also like I think about it this way of like, sure, recency bias. Are they the more pissed off team? Of course. But how many times we talked about this last episode? How many times are you gonna get punched in the face and just like be okay with it? Like someone's gonna take your wallet and you're like, you can keep it. Fight for it back. Like what? It's the lack of like, just aren't we all sick of this? Like, because I think the second you put on a Cyclone jersey and you graduate as a Cyclone basketball player, like the past losses are you own those, and then the future losses you feel like you own those too. Obviously, with the current you being on the current team, you would own those losses as well. But I just feel like I would take a certain amount of pride if I found out that we had not won at a certain place for years. Like 7 years ago, I was a junior in high school. Like I'm pushing 25. I got a fully developed brain now. Like it's getting old, man. Like let's figure it out. And at some point, it comes down to like when you don't have it, how are you still gonna play? And I don't know. It raised a lot of question marks of like an offense where I thought we weren't as predictable as previous years. Are we predictable as previous years? Because it just seemed like on an offensive end, like we were not confident in what we were supposed to be running. It felt like Milan was shooting the ball timidly again. It felt like just people weren't ready to play. It felt like people had the flu or something. I don't know. And like not the Michael Jordan flu. I mean like Kaman Malowacz last year when he threw up against UNC mid-game, like that type of flu. So it just wasn't like characteristic. And I think that's what bothers me so much is just like both of these games weren't, of course they come back to back. And the AP poll does you a favor, in my opinion, and keeps you at 9. Like you're still in the eyes of the country, a top 10 team in the nation. And to me, it's just, I feel like we deserved way worse. Like we kind of got away with murder, in my humble opinion. But again, it's just like environment. I kind of want to throw that out the window at this point because it's like, at what point are you just tired of history repeating itself? Like when is the parody happens every day in college basketball. I don't understand why other teams who have been in the Big 12 for less amount of time, like a UCF, like I mean TCU, even though they didn't win, they still acted like they gave a shit, you know, on the road at Kansas. Like I just don't understand like why that can't be the consistent effort. But to lose like this is just. It was embarrassing, man. I don't. There's no other way to put it. In my opinion, I know you kind of felt like you said opposite, but I'm kind of over the myth of Allen Fieldhouse. It's like get over it. Like it's the boogeyman. Like all right, are you still afraid of bedtime stories? Like grow up.
I think the other disappointing thing, and maybe Kansas does turn their season around and they go on to be a really good Big 12 team, but certainly coming into that game, everyone is thinking this is not the Kansas this isn't your father's Kansas. Like,
yeah,
Perry Ellis isn't walking through those doors anymore. Like, if you're going to get them, this is the year to get them. And just laid an egg, plain and simple. And one thing I want to ask you about, I mean, I was there for West Virginia when the team finished with 32 assists. I would have to look. We didn't sniff 32 assists against Kansas. We had 11 assists total against Kansas. So that's down 21 from West Virginia. And what I want to ask you about, so like shit wasn't working. And these past 2 games, kind of what seems to me, at least at first, is to try to get Joshua Jefferson on a cleared out post. But when we don't have the spacing, those guards on the perimeter just collapse on him. And he's a good ball handler, especially for his size, but he has a hard time taking care of the ball in the middle of the court like most big men do. Like, do you just run offense? Why are we turning to Joshua Jefferson? And Duke probably does similar, like when they can't get their offense going, you look to your best player just naturally to be like, hey, we need you. But Joshua Jefferson isn't like a Kurt or a Keyshawn that we had last year. Jackson was talking about this today, where it's like we don't have a guard that can kind of initiate offense on his own.
Yeah.
We have
And
some really talented wings, but we don't have that guard that can go create and get a shot.
yeah. And the sole difference, and I want to compare these two because I watched both of these guys closely, but they're also the two top runners for National Player of the Year at this moment. But when you bring up Cam Boozer, the sole difference between Joshua Jefferson and Cam Boozer is, yes, they both get double and triple teamed. We're in the middle of the conference season, like that's going to happen. You're not going to avoid that at this point. But what Cam is a bit better at already as an 18-year-old is being strong with the ball. Like I'm not saying you got to turn into Jamal Crawford in the post, but my God, like as good of a passer as you are, I'm not going to give you a free pass to just keep turning the ball over. Like at some point, I understand there are people from all directions, coming at you, but like you have to if you're not going to immediately swing swing opposite of the court, like you have to hold it tight. You have to hold on to the ball, and you have to put your big ass deltoid into somebody's chest and go up for a 2. Get fouled. Like make the ref do his job. Otherwise, he's just sitting there in a Foot Locker shirt. Like, come on. And that is the issue I've had with Jefferson is like, yes, he's a great 3-level player in general, but it's the fact of like, all right, someone throws a counter at you and you don't have a counter. Like, it is real. The second his mind is made up, it's just very like tunnel vision. Like I'm not gonna be aware anymore of this. Like I've started to dribble the ball. I will dribble the ball until I ruin everybody's day. And it's like, no, bro, swing the rock, pass the ball, Kobe. Like, God, oh my God, I cannot fathom how someone like you. And I'm actually pissed off that those are the two best, in my opinion, power forwards in college basketball, and the difference between the two is the 18-year-old compared to the senior is better at ball security. Something that's like that should naturally come with strength. Like that should not be an issue at age 22. So I know there were a few NBA scouts there. My brother in Christ didn't look good. The Knicks were scratching their heads when it genuinely looked bad how many times he just looked passive. And like, I understand in the NBA, you got a lot more space to create. You're not usually going to run into those issues because, I'll just swing the rock to Jalen Brunson, trade me. Like, right. That's not going to be an issue at the next level. But it does show just like kind of a lack of awareness of like, you can't hold on to the ball. And like, we can't, when you do come up with something that like, okay, I want to drive now. You can't stop mentally see, there's 3 people on me. 2 people are open. Let me pick one. Like, right. It's quick decision making. And like, you shouldn't have that issue as a senior. You should be picking people apart. And this is a fairly young Kansas team, especially their front court. So the fact that we weren't able to kind of figure that out and adjust, we just kind of like let them take our wallet. And then like, here's my banking and routing number too. Like we got robbed, dude. Like it just felt like something was taken from us, and we had no kind of like we had no plan to get ours back, and that was like the most defeating part of Tuesday, in my opinion.
Another matchup that just did not go our way. Blake Buchanan had 2 points and 2 rebounds, played 14 minutes. Flory Badunga, 10 points on 5 of 6 shooting, 7 rebounds. And Buchanan looked really good against Purdue, who has one of the best front courts in the country. But something we've seen in these last 2 games, because Purdue, what they don't have is a freak athlete like Badunga or Baba Miller, but they have 2 really skilled, kind of offensively sound posts with Clough and Trey Kaufman-Renn, but they don't have a guy that can jump out of the gym like Badunga. And Baba Miller's not as athletic, but he looks like 20-year-old Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's just like 7 feet tall. He shouldn't be able to move like he should. And Buchanan has really struggled in these last 2 games, kind of holding his own. And there's a lot of good post players in the Big 12. JoJo Tugler is one of them, Nigel. I'm not going to let you forget that.
Don't piss me off.
I'm a little concerned about the front court. And to go back to Jefferson, I think he's a victim, one, of awareness. Like you said, when you see he just draws so much attention naturally because you're number one on the scouting report. Joshua Jefferson's at the top. I mean, maybe Milan is like kind of a 1A, 1B. But when a defense collapses, you got to stop dribbling, pivot.
Like Milan is back there flossing his teeth, wide open.
Yeah.
Come on.
For the listeners, we're showing a picture, and Milan is literally just like out of focus in the background.
Just picking his nose out there.
Yeah.
Exposed. Like, oh my God, dude. And look at the picture right now. Your head's looking at the ground. The basket's not down there. I don't even think you want to score this ball. You just want to hold on to it. You want to hold on to it and see how many guys you can attract. This ain't you're not a girl at the bar. What are we doing? Pass the ball, bro. Like, oh my God. I would get it if someone was just picking us apart offensively. But that's not what's going on. Like, people are doing very, like, elementary, predictable things to us defensively, and we do not have the awareness to, all right, I'm being triple teamed, let me pass the ball. But also, in times when they did pass the ball, they were shitty passes, and people were not ready to score. Like, Milan was not shot ready. Even here, he's not shot ready. Like, if Joshua Jefferson had even a sense of, like, understanding of the situation right now, there are 3 people at every angle of his body to just turn, pivot, step through, and crack back to Milan. But if Milan is standing up in this position, not shot ready, it's useless. The triple team creating all of that attention is useless if you're not ready to make a play. And that's the problem with, you get somebody too focused on one thing at times. I think sometimes they think, I need to be a specialist at this now in order to help my team win. No, we need you guys to be playmakers, all 5 guys, and all 5 of our starters have the capability of doing so. So the fact that we can't turn into that when we need it most is what bothers me and worries me, really, going forth with the rest of the season, because we haven't even played the cream of the crop of our schedule in conference play. So if we look like this now, we're showing these weaknesses now, I don't even want to look at Houston, because they got a few freshmen that aren't playing like freshmen, and then add on JoJo Tugler's big ass. Like, we're going to have a few problems. So we got to figure it out. Like, and this is elementary, basic level stuff, so I hope they do. But something's got to give, man. I'm tired of these middle of the season meltdowns. And then, like, people wonder why we're not playing good basketball in March. Probably because we had great vibes. The vibes got mid, and the party diffused. And by the time we need to be close, like, connected and ready to go, take somebody's head off, people are over it. And I just don't know. Obviously, it's easy to bounce back from this game when you have a very, like, the next few games are pretty winnable games, in my humble opinion. However, like, the last stretch of the season is going to be godly tough. And then, go to the Big 12 tournament, try to win that. And then go to the national tournament, try to win that. Like, this is the easy part, bro. If we can't get through this, the test gets harder. We're going to get an F if we don't figure it out. So something's got to give, man. Something's got to give, because I'm tired of this already. If we're going to keep doing this, wrap it up. Let's go home. Warm up the bus. I'm tired.
I do want to give some credit where it's due. And this is where I was kind of disagreeing with people that I just saw on Twitter in my own group chats. Kansas has the 13th best ranked defense, according to Ken Palm. Cincinnati's above us. Cincinnati has the 7th best ranked defense. We have the 8th. So for our offense to sort of struggle, I mean, it certainly looked out of sorts against Kansas. And then outside of Milan on Saturday, nobody played well on offense. But, that's what Cincinnati and Kansas, they're really good defensive teams. What I'm concerned about is they're not good offensive teams, or haven't been up until this point. And they picked our defense. I mean, they did whatever they wanted. Cincinnati turned into the best 3-point shooting team in God's green earth. They've been abhorrent from the 3-point line up until this point. just what I've been noticing, and I kind of brought this up on the last episode, the traps are not trapping. Like these guys don't look, and some of it, I mean, if you're looking at this right now, Baba Miller, Dominic Nelson is about 2 feet below where that basketball is, maybe 3 feet. Like you're not getting in the way of that pass. But most guys aren't 7 feet tall. And I just don't feel like we've been creating the live ball turnovers on defense. And that's where we get so many of our, like, that's where the offense starts, is on the defensive end. Your heel players say that, your heel the coaches say that. And we're committing turnovers, but they're not turning into points. Like the points off turnovers is not keeping up with the turnovers we're forcing. And I feel like when we're not getting the easy ones in transition, you're not getting those pick sixes from Killian, or, it's a 3-on-2 fast break like you're in practice. When we get into the half court offense, and now I guess it's, give it to Joshua in the mid post, and three guys are going to collapse on him and just hope he makes the right decision. Like, I'd much rather go back to the, hey, let's be hellraisers on defense. Like, they just got to bring the physicality back. They have to try harder. They have to run faster. They have to be stronger. Like,
Yeah.
that is where I think, and this is all speculation, I'm not in that locker room, but when you start 16-0, when you see that little number 2 next to your name, maybe you get a little complacent. Maybe you're not diving after loose balls like Kansas was, because their season literally depends on it. And like you were talking about this too, is like, I feel like TJ's teams thrive when they're being underappreciated and they're the underdog, just because when you have a chip on your shoulder and you play the way that TJ wants you to play, it's like peanut butter and jelly. Like, that's exactly the guys we need, is the guys that have been doubted, told they're not shit. You suck. You'll never be like Houston or Arizona. They have all the 5 stars. That's when you get the guys that go and look like world busters.
Yeah.
But that has not been the case, at least not the last 2 games. That's what's been getting worked, is on the effort and physicality side, which is unheard of for
Yeah.
TJ.
Well, and that's what's bothered me. And it's like, realistically, long term, it's what I'm concerned about when it comes to making a long run, is that we can't handle being the guy for 5 minutes, let alone a month.
Yeah,
That is the
7
NCAA
games.
tournament. Yeah. Like, so that's my bigger issue, is like, I don't know how they're being told, because like, whether it's a direct message from TJ, or it's subliminal, or it's subconscious, like, everyone, you're absolutely right. The vibe of a locker room will change if you go from, yeah, we were mid tier at the beginning of the season, we were 16th best in the nation, now we're 2. Like, the vibe is gonna change of just, people are gonna start popping their shit. These are Division I athletes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, let's not act brand new. They're some of the more confident people you will run into in
Sure.
your time at college. So it doesn't shock me that, like, yeah, your confidence like went through the roof after you've made a huge climb this entire first half of the season. Great. Now you're top of the mountain, and now someone just pulled your pants down. Like, you gonna do something about that? Are you gonna do something about that? Because I would. Had that been me, I would do something about that. So, and that's my issue. And the pulling your pants down is more of a metaphor of essentially like, how can you handle being that guy? Because in my humble opinion, for somebody who can make it to the mountaintop, really, like, think Dan Hurley in UConn. For somebody to make it to the mountaintop and be a national champion, and what it takes is to not act like a national champion until you're a national champion. So, like, what bothers me is we do get the notoriety mid-season because we have had a tremendous beginning of the season. We beat some great teams up until this week. So, like, it's not undeserved, but the second something does come our way, we act like we've been there before. We're carrying ourselves like our shit don't stink. Buddy, everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time, just like you. Like, you gotta show up the same way every game. I don't care if you're playing the school of the blind out there. Like, it's more of an attitude, and in a sense of, it's a better, like, what it really is just really controlling what is the like human ego, like of how that can even flow in a season. And if you're doing well, it's gonna go off the roof. Like
Yeah.
it's human nature. I get that, but we have to do a better job at managing that, about being the best and staying there. Because again, am I expecting you to stay number two? I like if you want to fluctuate from 1 to 4 all year, you're a great team. Like that's not what I'm trying to get at. Is like we got to be at 2, and if we're not at 2, like we suck. Blah blah blah. No, it's just a matter of like the second we get that notoriety, all hell breaks loose, and like we just let teams do whatever they want to us. And I don't know, man. At some point, I don't know if you got to sage the locker room. I don't know if you guys got to go do some yoga, but figure it out. Like, because it's so much more of like a spiritual issue than it is like lack of my belief in you guys as a basketball team. Like, it's really not physical. It's really a mental game at this point, and showing a lot of mental weakness in moments like this. And then I start to question, what's your durability going to be like come tournament time?
The big thing going into Cincinnati, and this is what I was like kind of talking about, where losing at Kansas, whatever. Teams lose at Kansas all the time. That happens to everybody every year. It's super hard to play there, whatever. My hope was, we've been talking about this team, compare them mostly to the last 2 years. Yeah, except for Houston. Like, we were a 2 seed 2 years ago, a 3 seed last year, aspirations for a top 3 seed this year. But will this team be different? Because once we do get our pants pulled down, as you put it, we're liable to lose the next game. We kind of sulk for a couple of games after that first punch in the mouth. We did it last year when we had that losing streak to Kansas and Kansas State, and I can't remember the other one. But we kind of do this where we can't respond right away. And I so badly wanted to come out against Cincinnati and just blast them. Oh God, it was Caleb Love that started that. Sorry, pause. And like, Cincinnati is not a great team. They're 10-8.
That was such I got to call this out. That was such a Steve Prohm-ass win. Like a 9-8 team beats one of the best teams in the country, and that's going to be the highlight of the year. I just want to let everyone know that we lost to a Steve.
Steve Prohm as a Cincinnati coach.
Yes, like if Prohm had the job at Cincinnati right now, that is such it's Prohm coded win. Like we're not gonna win conference or do anything significant, but we'll beat a few good teams, and I'll stay afloat in my job for the next year, and we'll see what happens. Like that's it. And man, does it suck to be. I know it. I get it. I know how it feels to be Kansas when a freshman Tyrese. Or when Tyrese Halliburton lights you up freshman year, like who's this kid from Oshkosh? He has 5 threes. Like, why is he shooting like that? Like, I get it. It sucks. One could argue it's worse than losing at Kansas. Like, but it's just bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to point that out. Like it was such a like, dude, we just lost a pickup game to our little brother. Like, Jesus Christ.
Also, we just need to stay the hell out of the state of Ohio. Iowa State walked in there in football, lost. Iowa State women walked in there in basketball, lost. Iowa State men's basketball, like we just need to. Hey man, we don't go past the Mississippi River at this point. Oh, West Virginia's over there and UCF. Conferences are too big. God damn it. But what I was saying,
and you say that. What if our first round's in Dayton? What now?
Cooked. Absolutely cooked.
That's a problem. If we're bringing geography into basketball, like into like the actual outcome of a game, I'm sorry. Like, you're soft. You didn't deserve that. It's that simple.
I was hoping that this team was different going into Cincinnati. Like, I was hoping we would not hang our heads, but that's exactly what we did. We got off to a 6-2 lead, and then you give up a 20-2 run against Kansas. Cincinnati, we gave up a 17-5 run. That's another thing that concerns me about this defense. Your defense should be good enough to not let that happen. I don't care how cold you are on offense. Teams should not be going on 20-2, 17-5 runs against this defense unless they're over an 18-minute time, like something crazy like that, where it's just like we were cold for an entire half.
Yeah.
Because your defense should be good enough in the half court to just cause mayhem. Like, I really don't That's the part I'm more concerned about. We're not getting the turnovers. Teams are getting the ball to the middle third of the court against our no middle defense. I mean, it's in the paint. You're not supposed to let the ball get, like, you know what I mean? And they're getting it to the paint. They're getting paint touches. They're playing inside out. Like, they're not
Yeah.
having any problem with skip passing now. Like, it just doesn't look as chaotic as, especially 2 to 3 years ago when defense was the only thing we could do. It doesn't look that intense anymore.
Well, maybe that's the issue is like because in the years prior we were so limited offensively that the issue, like TJ, in a sense, if you're a coach, you could almost use that against your team. Like if you think we're gonna score 90 points, you're crazy. This team could have a night where they score 90 points. Yeah. Like we've seen it before. So I think sometimes, again, just naiveness. You're 22, you're 21. Like you're kind of stupid. Like you're just naive. Like you don't think you can get got. I look back at my time in college. Some of my cockiest years in all my days were spent at Iowa State University. So I could only imagine being a Division I athlete, number 2 in the nation. Like it's, again, so much of it is human nature in a sense where you're just kind of playing to your strengths, but also thinking, because due to the naiveness, like, oh, we'll be fine. Look at my strengths. Like, I shoot 55% from 3. I'm a number 2 in the runner-up for National Player of the Year. We'll be okay. Like, I just doubt right now before this week that we had a very insecure locker room where years prior, due to lack of ability, we kind of did have insecure locker rooms where we did have to band together to kind of create that cohesive confidence to go out and win against good teams. Now it's like we are the good team, and how are you going to manage getting stormed to death by a bunch of manic Ohio kids? Like, how are we going to prevent that from happening? I'm not even saying it from an aesthetic standpoint or like clout. It's pride. Like, that's got to suck. I can't imagine that would be fun. So how can we prevent creating situations like that where, yes, we do have a target on our back and we're giving people reason to just punch us in the mouth and we're not responding to that adversity? Like, that's the bigger issue. So again, I'm tired of these just temper tantrums we throw in the middle of the year every season where we just seem like you all the confidence that was slowly building up to this point quickly gets tossed under you because, like, you're acting real unfamiliar, and at some point we've got to get back to our mojo, our brand of basketball. And again, this is a great 5-game stretch where you can get back that rhythm, because after that, buckle up.
No breaks. All gas.
We might run out of gas. There's not a gas station for the next 3 towns. We're going. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like I felt real good going into the week. I don't feel so good anymore. Yeah. Feels like explosive diarrhea over here.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. The other thing about that Cincinnati game is all season I looked this up because I'm a sicko. I clicked on every single box score, all 18 of them. And when I rave about Iowa State basketball, it's because of the complementary. We out-rebound teams, we turn the other team over, and we have way more shot attempts than the other team.
Yeah.
If Iowa State does that in the rest of their games, they're probably not going to lose again. Like, that is truly, it sounds much simpler than it is, but if Iowa State controls those 3 areas of the game, I don't see how a team beats us with how talented we are. I just don't see it happening. Cincinnati had 69 field goal attempts. We had 52. So not only did we lose that battle for the first time this season, we got mollywopped. We got just beat on in that category. And again, against Kansas, we had more shot attempts in Kansas. And that's how crazy.
It didn't feel like it.
Exactly. So now imagine our entire identity gets taken away from what we want to do in a basketball game. So that's why I'm more concerned about the Cincinnati game. Like, you could have gone on to win the Big 12 regular season title. You could have been a 1 seed with a road loss at Kansas. Like that, no one on the national media scale is going to look down at you for losing at Kansas. You lose at Cincinnati, that's not what 1 seeds do. quite
No.
like Houston didn't lose at Cincinnati earlier this
And
year.
it was a close game.
It
Like
was.
they played them tight, but what do good teams do? They figure it out.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm kind of ironically in an opposite mindset of you, where I think Cincinnati, you can get away with that too. Like you can get away with either loss, right? It doesn't matter who you lose to, but you cannot lose them both. It is like bowling, the 7-10 split. You
Yeah.
can get to 7, you can get to 10, but you cannot get them both.
Yeah. And
Like,
we didn't get either. We just rolled it right down the middle.
Just do it down the middle. It just hit the black end back of the thing and just went back into the ball machine. I'm like, that was a waste of money. Why'd we do that? So I just it baffles me, man. It baffles me. Like to drop both. 1, okay. 2, I don't know, man. Get the switch, as my dad used to say, because someone needs a spanking. Someone needs to be grounded. Again, we need to sage the locker room. We need to do something where we can regulate our nervous system, just a fresh reset, and get back to our brand of basketball. Because I cannot do more of this. Like we already did it in football. I'm not doing it again, like personally. So figure it out, or Nigel's out.
I think, like you said, thankfully, this next 5-game stretch, I think the hardest game is probably at Oklahoma State or at Kansas State, just with our history of not being able to win in Manhattan.
Yeah.
But you have 3 home games out of the next 5 against
with students back, mind you. I think they're back this week finally.
They are. Well, they didn't have classes today, so tomorrow will be their first day back. Yeah, let's see.
Can I just say, with it being Martin Luther? Oh, go ahead. I wanted go ahead, man.
Where was that going to go?
Well, now I got to say it because it's going to throw off the flow. But I used to love this weekend when I was in school. I sound like I peaked in college. But, man, my God, when it was the weekend before the first week of the second semester and Martin Luther King Day. Oh, and you're at Patty's at 1 a.m. on a Sunday night, and I'm just looking around. I'm like, this is what Martin Luther King died for, right here. So I could have school off, and we could all be together enjoying a nice, fresh beer. Like, this is what it's all about. And I'm sad because I was watching the Bears game on Sunday, lost in terrible fashion, and I had to go to work the next day. And I was like, where'd all the time go?
Damn.
What happened? We were just having a good time. What do you mean I got to wake up at 5:30? This is crazy. Anywho, Unk status has been reached. My vent's over. Continue what you were saying, Dylan.
Our next 5, home game against UCF, at Oklahoma State, home against Colorado, at Kansas State, home against Baylor. Let's make it the next 6 because you should win at TCU.
Yeah.
And then we get into
we get them back.
Murderer's Row. Thank God for at Utah. I never thought I'd say it, but at Utah looks real nice in the middle of all those games.
Yeah, who did the beat? Oh my God, dude! I'm genuinely curious. Like, I don't actually. I'm gonna admit this right now. I don't actually know who schedules like the boom 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 type of like conference schedule. Like, I understand you kind of switch off year in year out, but it's like the order is always kind of mixed up. Excuse me, I don't know who pressed random this year, but you should have pressed it again. Because who the hell saw Houston, BYU? I was just going to go play Houston and then BYU, and they were like, yeah, that'll do it. That we're going to finalize this one. Oh yeah. Well, let's be nice. Let's give them Utah, but then let's have them play Tech right after. Yeah. Oh, on the road. And then go to Arizona. Yeah, because that makes sense. God forbid they need a break or walk. Like, God, can we get a water in between this rock fight? Yeah. Like, this is like saying, hey, you got to go play the Avengers. Good luck. Like, and you got to go 1v1 all of them. Like, buddy, we're not getting past Black Widow, let alone the Incredible Hulk. Like, this is not happening.
We did beat Hawkeye. Let the record show. We did not have to worry about Hawkeye this year. That Avenger got what was coming.
He had us in the first half, though. Hawkeye had us in the first half. I will not lie.
That's true.
You and I were distraught in going into halftime. But yes, this is a terrible stretch. Like,
And
Oh,
like that's all the more reason where you have to take care of business these next 5 to 6 games.
yeah,
Anything less than 5-1 or 4-1 is bad news because
yeah,
unless Iowa State really goes back to how they looked against Purdue and Creighton and Syracuse, like it's gonna be hell, as Austin Reeves said.
yeah,
Kansas, Houston, BYU, Arizona, Texas Tech, all of those teams are really good college basketball teams this year. So like hopefully a home game against UCF. To UCF, they're a weird team, and they're kind of like this every year. Where at home, if you have to play at UCF, good luck. That is sneaky, a really tough place to play all of a sudden. I also think just like I don't know how much travel really plays a part into it, but UCF is nowhere close to anywhere else in the Big 12, and they always play really well at home. But on the road, they're not the same kind of team. They beat Kansas, they lose at Oklahoma State. Hey, won at Kansas State, and played Arizona close at home. But I just don't see them on the road. Also, I was looking; their whole team transferred. I didn't recognize, like Keyshawn Hall's out of there. I didn't recognize a single name on the roster.
yeah. No,
So
they're
it's a whole new team from last year.
yeah. I feel like Johnny Dawkins stays in the transfer portal. Like, there's
Yeah,
no.
that guy lives there. That's where his house
He's
is.
like, he's like, let me just set up shop here. Let's just be the UCF transfer portal. That's our mascot. Like,
The transfer portals.
yeah, there is a handful of Big 12 teams that I feel like live there,
Kansas
and
State does that now too.
yeah, I think it's substituted for the teams that just know they're not going to be in the race for any top high school guy. So what's the point of recruiting high school guys? Like, if they're that good, I think this is their mentality. Let's go get the polished people in the transfer portal. If a high school guy ends up being that good in their mid major, at some point they'll make the tournament or they'll enter the portal, and we'll get them then. Like, we don't want to do the foundational developing. Like, we want to get them when they're a little more fine tuned. Think year 3 Milan right now. Like, I think
Yeah.
if Iowa State was a bit worse each year and year out, like if he went to the portal, a lot of people would be clawing at him. So it's kind of that effect. But yeah, like you said, again, a very unpredictable team, but I feel a lot better playing them on the road. I know it didn't count, but I know Duke played them like for their first exhibition game early on in the season, and first play of the game, like Cameron Boozer, first collegiate point, just dunked on somebody. So Joshua Jefferson, you have an opportunity to bounce back. I would hope you choose wisely and do so, because you're kind of pissing everybody off right now. And I like you. I really like you. Like, I don't want to sit here and trash you, my guy. But, like, buddy, the last few days, in the great words of Cam Newton when he was talking about Keon Coleman and his production for the Buffalo Bills, he's like, you're supposed to be our number one, and you're playing like a bum. Like, yeah, bro. Like, you're losing the ball, and then you're jogging on defense. Like, bro, this is an open rec. This isn't lead. Like, I need a little bit more from you. I need you to get pissed off again. I need you to be that kid from UNLV that, or not, excuse me, not UNLV, but from the kid from Vegas or the kid from St. Mary's that no one knew, no one believed in, no one knew anything about, and you had to go prove yourself. Please, you're not done yet. You have not won National Player of the Year. I need you to turn it the hell on. I'll give you $5 if you turn it the hell on. I know it's not much for you because you're doing just fine in that department, but come on, man. I need it. I need it more than oxygen. I need you to turn this boat around, because right now we're heading into an iceberg, and I do not want to sink this bad boy.
A lucrative $5 NIL deal is on the line for Joshua Jefferson.
Take it or leave it.
Yep.
I run a strict program.
I certainly so these last 2 games have been disappointing for sure. I think again, Kansas, whatever, super annoying. I thought we could get them this year, and then we got smoked. Lose at Cincinnati, now you have my attention in a bad way. If you lose at a home game to UCF, that's when you open the panic button and call somebody to change things. Like something.
That's when you call the number.
Yeah,
in my humble opinion.
that's the helpline right there. So hopefully Iowa State. I mean, this is for the schedule makers. They gave us a perfect opportunity of like, here's the 6 games to turn it around. And if we get a good kind of confidence going into that murderous row down the line, I'm okay with that. If you string some wins together and you're like, no, we're really about, we are as good as everybody said we were. Here's 6 games of wins going into the hardest part of your schedule. I'm a lot more, because then if you lose 2 or 3 of those, that sucks, but you're still a 2 or a 3 seed. I want to ask you, do you think a 1 seed and do you think the Big 12 title is out of the question at this point? So do I. I'm with you. I think those were kind of the 2 main consequences of this past week.
Well, and it's just like you put yourself in BYU, Texas Tech, Houston, Arizona. Like being a manager kept me in tune with how much the team, especially when you have a chance to be good in the league, you keep up with the other good teams. Yeah. Like people are aware when you lose. Right. Houston is licking their chops. Arizona is sucking their fingers. Like they're peeping this and they're watching these games to see what you look like with your pants down. Pause. And it ain't good. They're seeing a lot of cheeks. We're playing like cheeks, Dylan. Like this is the problem. Is like teams will see these games and be like, "Oh, pretenders." Like we'll get the Michigan label fast. And it's like, what are we going to do about that? Are you just going to let that happen? Like every other top team in the nation right now, when you think about it, they all have Arizona, no losses. UConn, 1. Michigan, 1. Purdue, 1. Duke, 1. Houston, 1. Nebraska, none. Gonzaga, 1. Us, 2. Michigan State, 2. Like the top 10 teams, only the bottom 2 teams have 2 losses. Everyone else has only dropped 1. No one has ran into the wall that we have. So you have to almost be a product, and you can't necessarily, like, I know national champion teams have probably dropped 2 in a row in the past before, but it isn't a lot of teams. One could argue most Final Four teams don't do that. Like they figure it out if they drop 1. So that's where I start to get very concerned. Is just like you compare us to the rest of the field. And I'm not even thinking about the other people that could upset the top 10 teams going to the tournament. If we go into the tournament today, like I'm thinking about just the top 10 right now. Because last year's tournament was very top seed heavy, the Final Four and whatnot. I'm assuming this year's going to be the same. If that's the case, there's a big, like, jarring difference between us and the rest of the top of the pool. And it's like, it's one thing. No one else has dropped 2 games in a row. So unless you guys want to go perfect, unless you guys don't want to lose again for the rest of the year, like, sure, I guess we can get a 1 seed, but like, that's like, when Nigel starts tap dancing, like it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So to answer your question, long story short, no, I don't. And I think this week kind of just made it more evident. Like other teams are like, it's definitely not going to be them. So I don't even know if we like share a piece of the conference this year. Like it sucks, but again, this all can't be your end all goal. Like it's great to have goals and want to win the regular season, want to win the tournament, after conference tournament. But like just the likelihood of you winning it all if you can't win the small ones first, it's not big. It's not big. It's not very Big 12 view. So we got to figure it out. It's that simple.
Cyclone Fanatics, Jake Brand was also in the building for Kansas Iowa State, and he texted me probably around midnight because we were both working still, and it was the box score of Baylor's national championship team losing at Kansas, and I was like, God damn it, Jake, I'm back. I'm like, you got me. I'm like, we're gonna be okay.
Did they lose to Cincinnati?
Threw me out a goddamn window, Nigel, and I was like, we're not Baylor.
Jake's like, I don't have a statistic for that.
Yeah, he's like, Baylor did not lose to Cincinnati that year. I've got nothing. UCF, this is a really good thing. are 69th in defense per Ken Palm right now. So if our offense comes out flat, then I will give up my state of I think the defense is a bigger problem. How many, like Cincinnati scored 79 against us? We weren't letting teams score more than 65 against us the whole season until this
No.
week. Like our defense had been so solid, especially like our defense. The tempo was slower. We just like looked so out of sorts these last two games, and please figure it out. And UCF is a great opportunity. You have the students back. You're going to have a full Hilton, and they have the 41st offense. Guys, if we don't beat UCF, that's when you get the panic button. You say, okay, maybe we really need to shift our expectations for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. And it pains me to say this because I love the weekly opportunity to talk about Iowa State basketball. There's not a better situation I could be in as a middle 20-year-old, working a 9 to 5 on a day-to-day basis. Not a lot of people get this opportunity. And I love every chance I get to talk about this team. But my God, from now on, I don't care what our ranking is. I really don't. Like this year, next year, the year after that, I don't give a I don't care. The reality of the situation is Iowa State has not won a national championship. No, they haven't won a national championship ever. So, the party we want to go to so bad, we haven't been in the door since World War II. Nobody listening to this podcast, nobody producing this podcast, nobody on this podcast was around or even a microscopic being at that point. Like we didn't exist last time we were there. So until you get there, I need TJ. I need everybody in the damn room, from Joshua Jefferson to Anthony Rise, the last walk-on on the bench, to just be a psychopath. Okay, like you cannot lose that chip. Like, we talk about having the chip on our shoulder for other teams who just weren't as talented. This team is talented, but what have you proven yet? Like, in the grand scheme of things, you beat Purdue, great. But what have you really proven yet? Because right now, Purdue, that loss is looking like, they just got us. They caught us lacking on an early Saturday game.
Oh.
Like, the rest of the season, they've looked just fine. So, that is starting to hold less weight. The committee's going to see that come March. If that's one of their 2 to 4 losses all season, they're going to overlook it. It's not going to matter. So at some point, we can never get into the complacency of a Purdue, of a Arizona, of a Houston. We haven't even been to the big dance we want to get to. And we're acting like we've been there. We know how this goes. Do you? I don't think anyone knows how this goes. So I'm very irritated with Iowa State not knowing how to handle being good, and knowing that there's parts of being good that you have to block out and stay focused. Keep the main thing the main thing. We cannot lose sight of what we're good at, what we do well, and just something's got to give, man. I cannot keep watching this type of strong start to the year. We have the same conversations every season, not only for the basketball team, but on this podcast. If you went back, you'd see a common theme in all of our episodes. Great start to the season. What happened? Do we suck? Hey, we're picking it up again. We're a 2 seed.
We suck again.
And then we lose it right at third. We suck again.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm tired of that, dude. And it's false hope every year. I just want to be able to figure it out. I know it's easier said than done, but something's got to give. Why not us? Why not us right now? Let's do it. It's the middle of January. The world is not ending. All right. We got a lot of good opportunities in front of us. Let's capitalize, please, for the love of God.
Yeah, whole season ahead of us, and I think the part where Iowa State still can be different than years past is we've seen kind of the chemistry fall off. We've seen us get the injury bug bitten. If everybody stays healthy and everybody keeps playing for each other, we're going to win more games than we lose. We're too talented. We're too damn good at basketball. But can you stay bought in? Can you stay playing our brand of basketball for 40 games? I mean, we haven't seen it yet. And if one team is going to change the mold, I'd like it to be sooner than later. Because,
Yeah.
you don't know what next year is. You don't know what 5 years from now looks like. So with as much talent as you have on this team, you got 6 games to figure it out and win those 6, and then bring on Kansas, bring on Houston, bring on hell, and figure it out.
I mean, if you think the tournament's not going to be hell, like,
Dog, I don't think we can find, besides Utah, maybe we get lucky and like a 12 seed goes on a run in March Madness. I would be shocked if there is a March Madness path that is as loaded as that like 6-game. Like
no,
just KenPom ranking alone.
yeah. Like if the tournament started today, there is no sweet ride. Figure it out. Like, pull your pants up and figure it out. Please. Go Cyclones. Like,
We're starving out here. Let him starve, Nigel.
I haven't eaten in a week. It's getting old. Please. Give me some food. Give me something. A crumpet or I don't care. I need an Iowa State win, and you guys can control that. So please, fellas, if you're listening, let them cook.